Hello, guys and dolls. How are you? I hope you're doing well. All right, let's do some technical stuff here. Get it working properly. Let's do that. All right. So, I keep seeing this online and it really gets on my nerves. So, there were things that we were taught back in the day that were dumb. Okay? Multi generations taught it, and on and on and on. And before you know it, you've got a whole bunch of generational, you know, family members, all these family members that pass on through all these generations, that go through all these generations. They're all believing the same stupidness. And for people who are independent thinkers, okay, they're going to go when they have their families, they're going to be like, that don't make a lot of sense. So I'm not doing it. I know I was raised that way, but I'm not doing it. For example, we were told that if you were on your girl thing, women were on their monthly, they could not, and you use, sorry guys, but you use tampons, you cannot go swimming, which is ridiculous. You can. We were taught if you got a burn, you're supposed to put butter on it or some type of grease on it. You don't want to do that because that holds the heat in. Okay. What other stupidness? You should stand by your man. A good woman stands by her man no matter what he does. You know, if he hits you or he's abusive verbally, physically, cheats on you, that's your man. You're supposed to stand by your man. And as far as him cheating, if you was doing what you was supposed to be doing as a wife, he wouldn't feel the need to go somewhere else. So there's a whole lot of stupidness that, you know, certain cultures were taught. A good woman stands by her man. A man has needs. Okay, so if he cheats, I mean, you know, you just got to roll with it, which is stupid. Okay, um, churches don't, majority of time, they don't want to talk about abuse. They don't want to talk about if you're being abused, you need to come in for counseling, or you need to, we have a specialist that, you know, specializes in domestic violence. You know, we don't believe in stay with them because you took vows. God doesn't want you unhappy. So, you know, you seek counseling. And if it gets to the point where you have to get out of there now, then you need to go ahead and get out. Churches don't talk about that. They do this number. You know, they don't want to talk about that at all. Um, if you're going through it, they're just like, oh, yeah. You know, so that's stupid. Um, stupid, stupid. Let's see. And another thing that gets on my nerves. Here. Okay, let's go there first. Let's go there first. And this is like cultures of color. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily have to be only black. It could be any type of culture with some color to their skin, beige, tan, black, whatever, Jamaican, whatever. There's so many rules, and it's just dumb. Society teaches women to cater to a man. Even when you go on a date, don't wear loud makeup, don't wear loud nail polish. I talked about this in another video a long time ago. Don't do this, don't do that, don't laugh like that, don't sit like that, don't hold your fork like that. Men don't like it. Since when are they kings? Since when do they rule the universe? Since when have they died on the cross for me? They haven't. They haven't died on the cross for you either. So cater to the man, cater to the man, cater to the man, cater to the man. It's a bunch of bullshit. It's cockamamie bullshit. Um, you know, our grandmas were so paranoid about your bra strap is showing, your slip is showing, you know, your skirt's too short. You know, they want to harp on the woman, you know, don't do this because it distracts men. It's just very upsetting. And it's like total bullshit because you're so busy harping on the women and you don't give the guys rules and regulations at all. You let them do whatever the hell they want to do. They don't have to wash dishes, take out the trash, Now, for those of you that your sons are not treated like kings, like he's got a princess complex, okay? For your boys that do have chores, that's great because that's how it's supposed to be. It teaches them how to be responsible at a young age. And, it helps the parents around the house and that kind of thing. Um, but there's so many guys that are not taught anything. I went to one individual's house, and I was helping his mom do dishes and clear the table and everything else, and his punk bitch ass was sitting on the fucking, excuse me, sitting at the goddamn dining room table. He didn't offer to do shit. You know why? Because he has a princess complex. I don't have to do nothing in this house. My parents kiss my naked ass every day. They tell me how lucky they are to have me. When you treat your child like that, you're asking for a lot of problems. That child wakes up, grows up, confused about their sexuality. They have rage inside of them. They have anger inside of them. Um, they're not responsible. You know, this individual that I'm talking about is responsible when it comes to that because he's extremely feminine. So he'll spin around with an apron on, a pink apron, and clean and dust and everything because he's extremely feminine. But a lot of guys, masculine type men, they don't do any of that because they never were taught that this is what you're supposed to do. If you're going to be living in this house, this is what you're going to do. So they sit there with a king complex, princess complex, and they act like they go to the parents' house. And this is generational bullshit too. You go to this person's parents' house or the grandparents' house, and you're always expected to look after everybody but you. When in reality, it should be the other way around. Because if you don't have the physical strength because you haven't eaten all day because you're worried about everybody else, when your blood sugar drops and you pass out on the floor, who's gonna help you out? You know what I'm saying? You need to take care of you in addition to taking care of other people. But all these poisonous generations, they teach women to be a man's slave. And so these narcissistic, entitled, grandiose men grow into men who have high expectations. And so when the Super Bowl hits or whatever football game or whatever, the women are all in the kitchen and the men are sitting on the couch. What the freaking bull that you know what? That pisses me off. And I know that's generational and I know it's a bunch of bullshit. And how many of those men are going to now don't get me wrong. There may be instances where rarely, okay? There may be instances where the men are like, excuse me, I'm going to help my wife in the kitchen. I'm going to help her load the dishwasher, or I'm going to bring her all these dishes so she can wash them. There may be some men who actually do that, but it's so rare because society and generational curses basically teach the men sit on your behind and let the woman cater to you because you are a king. You are the master of the universe. You are in charge of everything and everybody. You sit there and you look pretty and you watch the football game and you scream and holler at all the plays, and this is what you're supposed to do, and it's just stupid. So men who don't do that, I commend you because that is not what a lot of people were taught. Men who are Mr. Mom, their wife works and he actually raises the kids. He knows how to push a vacuum. He knows how to do laundry. He knows how to cook. That breaks all the rules. And I think that's awesome. Not because I'm a woman, because I've been taking care of myself my whole life. Men have been useless to me, except for guy friends. All right, men are useless. They want to offer you know what, and that's all they care about. So, like, go sit your little horny ass over there and leave me the hell alone. So, I know how to take care of myself. And plus, female, right? You're going to have to learn how to cook and do things on your own. I don't understand people who have children and they never learned how to cook. What did you feed your kids? Peanut butter and jelly? Salads? Ravioli out of the can? I mean, what do you mean you raise kids and you can't cook? It puzzles me. It puzzles me. Um, Nowadays, some men are, like I said, they're Mr. Mom. They can vacuum. They know how to separate the laundry from the lights and the darks. They know how to cook. They know how to make steak on a grill. I mean, some men know how to throw down. And I commend you because you obviously do not sit there like you're royalty. Like, I'm going to sit here after I ate and I ain't doing nothing. I can't stand that extreme laziness. I can't stand that. But society teaches men that the women are supposed to do everything. She's supposed to be your slave, and you're supposed to sit on your butt. And then when she busts her butt all day, and you haven't rinsed out a glass, you haven't done nothing, you expect her to want to be in a frisky mood. You're living in a fantasy world. She's exhausted. You want to turn her on? Run the vacuum cleaner. Take the trash out. Wash the damn dishes. Help her around the house. There was something I heard on the radio, and it said that studies have shown. Now listen to this, okay? Studies have shown that women are more likely to be romantic when the man helps them around the house. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I could have told you that. Duh. You know what I'm saying? Duh, that's just dumb, of course. Anyway, another thing that was taught that's stupid with a T, stupid, is submit to a man. This bullshit is in the black community. It's not, you know what, let me backtrack. It's not just the black community, but it's prevalent. In a lot of countries, this is the case also. Cater to the man, cater to the man, cater to the man, cater to the man. Give him sex every time he wants it. Make as many babies as he wants you to make. And cook and clean and cook and clean and cook and clean and cook and clean like a robot. This is what we do. And it's just totally asinine. Unless the man he's a quadruple, amputee, there is no reason in the world why he cannot get up off his tail and wash a god dang dish. Who do you think you are that you sitting up in your parents' house? Yes, I've seen it. You sitting up in your parents' house, you enjoying all their meals, and it don't occur to you that the least your ass could do is pick up a glass and a plate. Yours, you can't even bring your own plate to the sink. I blame the parents for that. I blame the parents for that. I remember, we're going to get to the submission in a minute, which is a bunch of bullshit. What's the other? I've got a friend in New York. He's a guy friend. We've been friends for a long time. Like I told you guys, he's known me since I was 18. He's in my family. He's a friend of my uncle and, the whole bit. We're not a couple. We weren't a couple at the time. We are strictly friends. Lord help us. So we go to my grandma's house in Martha's Vineyard. And my grandma, and I can't really totally blame her because this is what she was brainwashed with also. The women cater to everybody, cater to the man, cater to the man. You the female. He's just a broken man. He can't do nothing. You got to wipe his nose and cut his toast and put some butter on the toast. He can't do it. He's a man. He can't do that. So anyway, we sit on the couch. Grandma had made the meal and everything. And you don't argue with your grandma unless you want to get backhanded. So when your grandma says to do something, you just gonna do it. I wasn't happy about it. I was pissed, but I wasn't gonna upset my grandma and say anything, so I kept my mouth shut. But she insisted, and like I said, she was taught this too, right? She said, you need to go up there and make his plate. I said, Grandma, he can make his own plate, make his plate. Get up there and get him something to eat. And she was pushing for it. I am not his woman. Not that you're supposed to just because you his woman. Women like to be catered to also, truth be told. Women like it when you say, hey, babe, I'm going to the kitchen. Is there anything you need? You'd have to be a human person in order to do that. You'd have to have manners and respect, and you were raised to respect other people in order for you to even consider, hey, I'm going to the kitchen. Let me get you da 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 da. Anyway, it pissed me off because she's acting like I'm supposed to do it just because I'm a female. Well, what's the deal? Why can't he bring me a freaking plate? Why can't he bring me a goddamn plate? What the freaking hell? It, but she was taught that way. She was brainwashed that way too. You are to cater to the man. So zip it and do it. I am disabled. I have chronic pain. Okay. I had back pain today. My knee was killing me the other day. You know why? Because rain came in. So my pain's worse when the weather changes. You would think when somebody knows you have chronic pain that they would look out for you a little bit more. Nah. Nope. 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 Why would they? People are selfish. And they don't consider that, well, let me get off my lazy ass and ask her, does she want to play? Nobody thinks about that. Okay. Um, it makes no sense. It makes no freaking sense. Um, in a lot of cultures, not just the black culture, I don't say African American, I say black. Whoever don't like it, there's a door by. I don't get caught up in, verbal brainwash either, where this is what we say now. I ain't thinking about that. Anyway, so what happened? In a lot of cultures, you're supposed to submit to the man. Why the hell would I submit to a man? We are both adults. I'm not his child. I don't have to obey him. I don't have to submit to him. That is 1800s mentality. We need to lose that mentality. Men, misogyny is on a rampage. Mental illness is on a rampage. Narcissism is on a rampage. Women are getting killed almost daily, for sure, weekly. Um, why the hell would you submit to a crazy person, potential crazy person? Because let me tell you what submission does. And this is the bullshit we were taught growing up, which is dead wrong. Okay. And we're going to lose this mentality. If we think, turn our brain on, we realize that we got to lose that mentality. So you look at how unstable a lot of these males are, and how misogyny is on a rampage. Sorry, something's on my screen. Oh Lord. Don't do this. Anyway, sorry. I don't know if you still saw me or not, but anyway, something was on my screen. Anyway, God, I hate interruptions. Forget where I was. Submission. I submit to God. I submit to God. I'm not going to submit to a human being. That makes no sense to me. We are both on the same level. We are on the same page. We're supposed to be on the same team. If you play basketball, if you play football, if you play soccer, if you play, any type of competitive sport or sport period, you work as a team. You don't submit to your teammates. You may talk and discuss, we need to do that little move that we did last time when we won the game. Make sure that you do it, da 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 da. You may work together, but nobody's in charge of anybody. You work as a team. There is a coach to guide everybody so we're all on the same page. But so far as us submitting to each other, that's stupid. Well, in a relationship, it's stupid too. That's just stupid. Why would you submit to somebody who is on your level? That makes no sense. I'm not submitting to no human being. I will submit to God, period. And sometimes I'm a bad seed and he has to call me on the carpet, but we're not going to go there right now. But why would I submit to a human being? That makes no sense to me. It's just generational brainwash. You're going to submit to somebody who's obsessed with control, because most men are obsessed with control and domination, possession, and ownership of you. They have, because a lot of them don't have, we're going to go to roll here. We having church up in here. Okay. What? A lot of these males of today have no positive role models. They don't. They don't have positive role models in their families. No uncles, no older brothers, no older cousins. They have all of that, usually, but none of them teach them anything. Everybody's doing their own thing. So they don't have positive role models to teach them or show them through their behavior. This is how you treat people. This is how you talk to people. This is what you do. This is what you don't do. This is what you do with women. This is what you don't do with women. They have no guidance. And when you have no positive guidance, you are a satellite spinning in space with no direction whatsoever freaking ever. And that's dangerous. So what they're going to do is they're going to be King Dingaling and they're going to rule you with an iron fist. And they could do it subtly, because you know it happened to me subtly till I caught on. And I'm like, we're not having that. It goes subtle. It is mind screw. It's manipulation. It is passive aggressiveness. It is backstabbing. It's all of that. When it's covert, it's all of that. When it's not covert and it's overt, it's, what did I tell you to do? Bam! Because you're getting to the point where you're tired of being in prison. So you're basically like, babe, why don't we look out for each other? Why don't we do for each other? You're supposed to get in there and get me a beer and shut the hell up, bitch. Don't talk to me like that. That's not cool. It's disrespectful. Excuse me. It's disrespectful. You know, and then he backhands you because you don't need to be talking back. So submission's always a bad idea. Let me not say always. Let me give you the caveat. The caveat to that is if you are out of line. Because when I was married, the first time I was married, I was in my early in the marriage. I was in my 20s and 30s, and I had rage problem. I had a serious rage problem. And there was a time when, am I going to go there? Yes, I am. I will want to hurt you bad quickly. Don't do nothing dumb, because I'm going to warn you, and then I'm going to jump on you. I'm not going to go into any details, but there were times that I almost jumped on somebody, and my husband at the time had to literally restrain me, and I think he picked me up. I don't remember. I think he picked me up and he put me in the room and he shut the door and he said, "You stay in here until you calm down." And he was very serious. Now, that's a situation where if he had not intervened, I would probably bust this person in their jaw and would have went to jail. Okay. So there are times where your partner is going to have to say, okay, excuse me, babe, you need to calm down. Look at me. Look at me. You need to calm down. No, 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 no. You need to calm down. Bring it down. Bring it all the way down. Because you're losing your mind right now. Take a deep breath. Because I don't want to have to bail you out of jail today. All right? So you need to stop. Or if your wife comes home from work, your husband comes home from work and says, "I'm gonna cuss that bitch out tomorrow," meaning their boss, his boss. I'm gonna tell my boss where to go and how to get there. You have to talk some sense into your husband, because if he gonna go in there running his mouth, he's gonna get fired. So there are times where your partner, and this is not a submission thing, this is a de-escalate thing. That there's a huge difference. Okay, there's a huge difference. So there are times where your partner or your spouse may have to say, "Okay, let me physically grab you and put you over here because you lost your mind up in here." So that could happen, and yes, that has happened to me a couple of times, because I was a spitfire. I was out of control, but I hadn't been to therapy, and I came from a long line of a long history of abuse ever since I was a baby. So yeah, I got a little anger in me. You're not surprised, are you? I mean, I was called a bitch when I was a baby in the crib. My grandma told me that. So, over the years, violent beatings, and you're not allowed to express your emotions. So the emotion's going to come anyway, and it's going to come in the form of anger. And that anger builds, 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 builds. And now that you're an adult and you're out of that situation, that anger has to have somewhere to go. It doesn't vanish on its own just because you're not in that abusive home anymore. Anyway, move right along. So there are times that your partner has to intervene because you're about to go to jail, or you're about to get fired, or you about to hit that person in the face because you're stuck in traffic and they jumped in front of your car. They didn't signal, they just jumped in front of your car. You want to snatch them out the car. So there's times your spouse, your partner, whoever has to calm you the hell down because you're losing it. All right. Some people have road rage. I've never had road rage. Yeah. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm better than I used to be. I mean, I'm better than I used to be for sure. But anyway, I think we're all a work in progress, right? But submitting, that we gotta lose that. That's 1800s mentality. We gotta lose that. Staying by your man's side. He's cheating on you. Men have needs. You got to stay by his side. We gotta lose all that shit because what we were taught is what your parents were taught, what their parents were taught, and what their parents were taught, and nobody had enough sense to say, you know what, that don't make any sense. You submit to the wrong person, they start whooping your ass. And guess what? Here's another thing. You ready? You ready for the cherry on a Sunday? For women who do submit, okay, she don't talk back. Is there anything else you want, baby? His dinner is ready when he comes home from work. If he says he wants meatloaf on Wednesday, he gets meatloaf on Wednesday. No questions asked. Even in a situation like that, her partner is still not happy. How do you explain that? So submitting doesn't always work, does it? It don't always work. Okay? For people who obey, and some people do, I don't, unless I'm out of line. But for people who do submit and obey, and it's not they don't fight back. That's just not who they are. You yell at them, they cry. Okay. I had a friend like that. So I felt like when we went out, I had to protect both of us. When we went walking the dogs and, something crazy should happen, I feel like I have to protect both of us because she's the type that kind of falls apart when things go left. And I'm a fighter. So I'm not going to let you beat us up or rape us or whatever you think you're going to do. You're not going to do it easily. Let's put it that way. Plus, she was real tiny and petite and everything, and I'm not. I'm like 5'10". I was a 5'11" at the time, so I'm like, bring it on, bring it on. So yeah, I'm gonna protect me and her. That's my girl. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, um, yeah, we were taught a lot of stupidness, a lot of stupidness. Old wives' tales. Oh, don't do this, you'll get pregnant with a boy. Or if you do this, you'll get pregnant with a girl, for sure. Now, there might be some situations where maybe some of that is true or true a certain percentage of the time. I don't freaking know. But I know we were taught a lot of dumb things. Don't let society tell you what you can and cannot do in regards to men. Men, don't let society tell you what you can and cannot do in regards to women. You do what you should do. Be respectful. Be kind. Look out for people. Don't tolerate disrespect. If somebody says something stupid on the first date, you're out. We're not going to be together 20 years where you're running your mouth and being abusive to me for 20 years. We ain't doing that because I'm getting rid of you on the first date. And I'm going to tell you something right here, right now. And I told you this before. I got rid of somebody before the first date. I sure did. He got his feelings hurt. He got his ego hurt. I don't care because something special that I experienced, I made the mistake. Maybe it's not a mistake. I shared it with him. And he told me that was bullshit. Mind you, we had never hung out in person, but I got to see the real him before we went on a date. So guess what, sir? We're not going out. You're disrespecting me right out the gate. But you saved me a lot of time and a lot of energy. Okay? But yeah, people that obey, their partners are still filled with rage. They submit, they obey. What else do you want, baby? I want pork chop on Friday. I want meatloaf on Wednesday. And I want you to shut up when I come home from work. I want 2 hours of peace and quiet. And when I'm watching a football game, you get your ass in the kitchen and you find something to do. And I don't want to hear you. Okay. Some women do that. The man is still angry. So it doesn't work now, does it? No. That obsession with control is something wrong up here. That's not you're gonna submit to me and we're gonna get along a lot better. No, they're still angry because something is wrong with them. You're a miserable, SOB, if you feel the need to dominate somebody else, you are miserable. That's the reason why you're doing it, because you're miserable. You're broken and you're miserable. Okay? People who are happy, don't do that. Mm, what? People who are happy don't dominate other people. They just don't. I'm just saying. They don't feel the need for that. So that's that. So yeah, don't submit. Screw that. We're not submitting. Um, but don't be disrespectful and mean to your partner either. I mean, watch what you say, watch how you say it. Don't hurt somebody in their spirit, because once you hurt them in their spirit, in their soul, there's almost no coming back from that. So be careful, especially if you have a good partner, which is so hard to find nowadays. If you find somebody who's mentally sound, of sound mind, and they treat you well, make sure you hold on to that, because that's rare. In today's world, that's extremely rare. Okay? All right. You guys take care. Much love, and I'll talk to you later.